Hi, welcome back to another edition of the Coach's Corner. This game we're going to be talking about Browns versus Titans. And honestly, what a statement win for the Browns. I mean, this game was one that, I highlighted talking about how it was going to be a good game. And I mean, the box score might look like it was a good game, but if you look at the statistics and how the game flowed, it was a huge win for the Browns. Baker looked like he was, back at Oklahoma, wearing the red and just going off. And then, I think that Baker's kind of starting to trust all of his targets. If you look at how he was able to spread the ball around, I think pretty much every active skill guy had at least one reception or, one touch. Additionally, the biggest thing that I was worried about with the Browns was how are you going to stop Derrick Henry? And it's not just because it was the Browns. I mean, the Browns defense hasn't been great this season, but it's Derrick Henry, and not many teams have been able to stop Derrick Henry this year. And I mean, and that's no shot at those defenses. Just Derrick Henry's a load. And lastly, if you look, no sacks and barely any pressure that the Titans were able to put on Baker. And when you don't have any pressure in Baker's face, and they're able to run the ball efficiently like they did against the Titans, that play action pass that Kevin Stefanski likes to run is going to be deadly. Baker Mayfield will find the open guy and make you pay. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up the Stefanski offense because we're really seeing Baker get comfortable. And I know that they talked to him about, recently people have been talking about his comfort level. And you're right, Baker does look like he's kind of settled in and grown some trust. And I think ultimately, he kind of has accepted his role as what he needs to do. And once you are comfortable with – what do they say in the dating world, Coach? They say you'll never, unless you love yourself, you're never going to love another person. Well, until you know who you are as a player, you're never going to contribute to the team.
What are you doing on this show? You need to replace Dr. Phil.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
You got to stop pretending to be other people and just be yourself.
That's right. Baker Mayfield has tried to be a quarterback that team didn't need, and finally we're seeing him be what they do need, and that's just a game manager, and we're seeing wins result from it, right? And Baker's comfortable with that. He's having fun. He's smiling. That's the Baker Mayfield you got at Oklahoma. Like, to your credit, that's what you said. And, he was a guy that was dancing with the crowd. He was dancing on the sideline. He was getting the fans riled up. And now he's learned how to do that and manage the offense. And that's what's dangerous about it because we know this kid's a winner. He just needed to find his niche, and he needed to be comfortable and have a good supporting cast around him.
Yeah, and I said this when Kevin Stefanski got the job in Cleveland. Just like it's pretty obvious I'm a Vikings fan, and he's been in the Vikings organization since 2006. And since 2006, we've had Brad Childress, Leslie Frazier, and now Mike Zimmer, and he's survived all three of those coaches. So clearly there's something that, they liked about him. And with that said, I felt strongly that Kevin Stefanski is the type of guy that can build the right culture in Cleveland. And I feel like that he would be able to kind of deal with all the personalities that you have in Cleveland. And there are plenty of personalities in Cleveland. And I think you're finally starting to see that, Baker's really understanding his role. And we've talked about this on the show before. Consistency among play callers, i.e. the system, and the quarterback is important, because really the big jump that, teams make, quarterback specifically, within a scheme is year two. And you're finally starting to see kind of him starting to get it year one, which is huge. But I feel like, if he continues to play like this, it's only going to get better. And, I think that Kevin Stefanski is a dark horse candidate to win Coach of the Year. And I think that, performances like this kind of prove that a little bit.
Man, what an unfortunate year for him. You mentioned Coach of the Year for him with all, you got Ron Rivera doing a turnaround in Washington. You've got Joe Judge leading a team back in the NFC East. You just got good coach Tomlin with an incredible run in Pittsburgh right now. You just got all these coaches. So even if he doesn't win Coach of the Year, that doesn't mean he hasn't done a fantastic job, to your credit. This is the first time they're on pace to make the playoffs I believe for the first time since Bill Belichick, or have a winning record, correct?
I think that they made I know they went 10-6 in like the late 2000s, but they missed the playoffs. I think they did go to a playoff game, but they didn't win it.
I saw this is the most successful run they've had as a team since
It's been a
Bill
while.
Belichick.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, we're gonna be happy to see the Browns, and ultimately he's changed the loser mentality in Cleveland, and that's the biggest thing you can do for a franchise is get guys in there that want to win, want to be a part of the city, and because it's easy. You know, you look at Detroit, you look at the Jets right now, you look at the franchises that have been bad for several years, and the guys in the locker room expect to lose. And now, right now, they've got guys in Cleveland that are expecting to win. You know, you came right on. You said, "What a statement win!" It was a statement win. It was we're not the Cleveland Browns. We're Kevin Stefanski's Cleveland Browns. That's a different Cleveland Browns than you've ever played before, brother. And that's the biggest statement you can make is make people respect you. You know, and that's what they're doing right now.
Yeah, this is the Cleveland Browns from before we moved to Baltimore. But I mean, speaking of that staff that Bill Belichick had, just kind of a side note here. I mean, the coaches that coached under Bill Belichick in Cleveland. I mean, if you ever get a chance, look it up. A lot of them are or were NFL head coaches or college head coaches. It's actually pretty impressive. But I think that we've talked about the Browns before, and I think that when they're able to run the ball, I think that will travel, and I think it will help them in the playoffs. But that's kind of an if at this point, and that'll be yet to be seen. But if Baker's playing like this, watch out, because he didn't look like a game manager. I mean, he is, but he looked like he looked at Oklahoma, and I think that's the big takeaway from this. But also, it just, if we were to talk about the Titans, I think that you could kind of compare them to the Raiders to a certain degree because they're so hot and cold that, they lost and then they come back and they destroy the Colts. And then, it's a roller coaster and you just don't know what team's going to show up. And you could argue that if Derrick Henry doesn't play well, then the whole team doesn't play well, and that's not good. But yeah, let us know what your thoughts are.
Exactly.
Let us know what your thoughts are. If you have any comments, don't be afraid to leave them in the comment section. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and check out other content from the East West Football Network. Thank you.